breathe sweeter words than my fellow Americans. If you believe my colleagues in the mainstream, behind the curve, ostrich head in the sand media, you are nothing but a bunch of teeny tiny, fringe, hate-filled, racist, political terrorists. Well, I'm proud to be here among you. But I've never been so proud in my adult lifetime, as that other Michelle says. To be a part of this angry mob. You know, we have celebrated Constitution Day. I didn't think that these people had never heard the phrase peaceable assembly before. Or the phrase petition the government for a redress of grievances. That's what these tea parties are all about. That's what the tax revolts have been all about. That's what the town hall protests have been all about. And it has been so inspiring and unprecedented to see the grassroots resurgence and surge of a movement demanding accountability from its government and congressional representatives. And one thing that my colleagues in the dead tree media don't understand as well is that this is not just about one man. This is not just about one party. It is about a backlash and a pushback and a resistance to the culture of corruption.
Yeah.
And the revolt against the culture of entitlement, the culture of hubris, the culture of arrogance, the culture of dependency that they have rammed down our throats. Like Rachel, like Chad, like so many of you here, I am a mother. I have a 9-year-old and a 5.5-year-old, and I have immunized my children. I have taught them how to wash their hands of a culture of dependence. We've got Kathleen Sebelius, the Secretary of the Health and Human Services Department, telling us to cover our noses and wagging their fingers about staying away from the germs. Well, it's the and it's the infection of this culture of corruption that we have risen up against. I have written a book called Culture of Corruption that the New York Times refuses to review. And like so many of the conservative books, or quote-unquote right-wing crap, pardon my French, that Chris Matthews has used to describe the conservative books topping these lists, and I think that there has been a parallel between the rise of the Tea Party movement, the town hall protest, and the fact that our books that offer a counter-narrative to the whitewashing propaganda offered by the likes of the New York Times and the Washington Post. There is a parallel between the rise of those two things. We have scored a lot of victories over the last several months, and they are hard-fought and hard-won. We have to give credit out there to many folks who are doing DIY vetting, do-it-yourself vetting. We're not relying on the New York Times to do it. Look at those two kids. Adopting the practice of Dateline and Primetime Live and 60 Minutes. And of course, when folks who believe in limited government and fiscal accountability do it, we're accused of entrapment. We're accused of entrapment instead of undercover investigative journalism that would have won a Pulitzer Prize if it had been targeted against evil corporations instead of evil criminal rackets like Acorn. overnight, and you here in Wisconsin knew it. But several months ago, last year, in the campaign, there was a brave man named James Harris. Charlie Dixon doesn't know about James Harris. He doesn't know anything, that's right. Ostrich media, that's what I call him. James Harris stood up in Washington. Did I pronounce that right? And he told John McCain to fight. John McCain had told us to fight for him. James Harris said, fight for us. What about Acorn? You knew what they were doing here. You knew how they were undermining electoral integrity. You knew how they were trying to steal the election. And it took many, many months for people in Washington to finally do something about it. It is about time finally, better late than never, and it's just the beginning. During President Obama's joint address to Congress, he threatened to call Americans out. He was going to call you out for spreading misinformation.
I'm a calling.
Well, the Tea Party is about calling the White House out.